Hey there, everyone. How are you doing today? Michelle Pescosolido here.
Bill Pescosolido here, and this is another episode of Real Talk with Bill and Michelle Pescosolido. So as you are coming out onto the Facebook Live, please feel free to introduce yourself. Let us know where you're watching from.
Say hi.
And yeah, say hello.
So we can give you a shout out back and say hi back.
There you go. Absolutely.
Oh, wait. Do we have the comments on so we can see them here?
We need to see the comments. That would be helpful.
Does that across our face? Why does that do that? I don't know. Somebody comment so we can make sure that we're good to go and that everybody can see what's going on and I can see the comments pop up on the screen because we're using this fancy software. Yay! Hey, guys. Hey, Diana. It's working.
Thanks, Diana.
Awesome.
How are you?
Yes. Good. I know it's a little bit of a delay, but thank you for the comment. But yeah, come in. Well, you already are in. Let us know that you're here. Say hello so we can give you a big shout out. Oh, wow. Gabriella from Hungary.
Wow.
Sam from North Carolina. Hey, John. Good afternoon.
What's up?
I love these videos. We're
Awesome.
from Connecticut.
Very cool,
Yeah.
Diana. Awesome.
Wisconsin. Very
Ooh,
cool.
Wisconsin in
Hello,
the
Kathy. Wow, it's going fast. Hey, Dawn.
Awesome.
Hey, Justice.
Hey, Jenna's watching from Frisco.
Qatar. Jenna, we live in Frisco. How Fitzroy. Yay, you're here.
Hey, Fitzroy.
Panama again. I love
Panama.
it. Watching you from Frisco. Yeah, that is so cool, Jenna. Did you know we're in Frisco too? And we know Daryl. Daryl's in Frisco also.
What's up, Daryl? How you doing, buddy?
This is so cool. Well, good. Well, we're excited about today. We're going to be talking about branding. And as you all know, branding is very important if you're going to market online. We have to build our brands and get exposure and start building that know, like, and trust factor if we really want to stay in the game of internet marketing. And it's really, I hate to put it this way, but it is kind of, hey, Daryl, it is kind of like a race. You know, I feel like it's a race. How can you get the most exposure? How can you, get out in front of the most people, and keep, you want your brand to go viral. And it's like, I just picture that as a race for some reason. You gotta beat out the other brands.
But I would add that it's more of a marathon.
Okay.
Rather than a sprint.
I tend to
it's a constant, steady process of consistently doing things, which we're going to talk about here today, which will help build your brand.
Because think about this. If you're in the network marketing space, let's say, I know some of you aren't, but if you are, and most people are familiar with network marketing, look at the people that are crushing it in network marketing. It's usually those ones, there are people probably crushing it that we don't know is crushing it because they're doing it a different way maybe, but there's the ones that we know are crushing it and hopefully they're telling the truth, but we see them all the time in front of us, whether it be through a Facebook Live, they're doing speaking gigs, they're showing up at events. Hello, Alan.
What's
Good
up,
to see
Alan?
you here.
In the hizzo.
But they're making noise. They're out there and in a way that's not in your face, pitching their products or services. They're actually out there providing a ton of value. So I wanted to kind of flip it around so you guys can see that how important that is, that you've got to get your brand out there. And those are people that are, and it's proof right there that by, building your brand creates success.
And absolutely. And, we're going to share with you guys today what we've done specifically to build our brands. And,
hey, Chip.
And what's cool about when you start building a personal brand, and when, again, and it's never done. It's not like, hey, I built it and now I stop building it and I go do other stuff. Like it's a constant thing.
Yes.
And something that never ends. It's, we're always still furthering and developing and enhancing our brands. And your brand could even shift over time. I'll give you a case in point. It's not within our industry or your industry, but just look at The Rock, right? Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. That guy,
The Rock.
The Rock.
I thought you were like Pet Rock.
No, Dwayne Johnson,
Yes.
The Rock. Look at him.
I know
Talk
him.
about a person that's been able to shift their brand.
Mhm.
He went from being a WWF
He
or
was?
whatever, WWF wrestler. So he basically, Friday nights in the ring wearing a little, bikini Speedo thing and knee pads and elbow pads, flying off the turnbuckle and, and drop hammering guys, to now He is the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
That is cool. I had no idea.
So if ever you are thinking, oh, this is my brand, this is what everyone already thinks of me as, and I'm stuck in this rut, and if I want to be something different, how can I? Look at The Rock, or I should say Dwayne Johnson, as an example of how you can successfully rebrand yourself at any point in time. Now, we're not here to talk about Dwayne Johnson today. We're here to talk about you and how you can build your personal brand. And before we get into that, though, I have to say something that's very important. And I read a blog post not too long ago. It was maybe a few months ago. And it was on, branding tips. And it was some, guru shmuru who supposedly knew everything. And one of their biggest tips, they said, the most important thing about building your brand is getting a logo. And I have to say, that's absolute crap. That's BS.
We don't have a logo, do we?
Not really. I mean, we kind of, after a while.
Yeah.
We kind of do, kind of not. I don't know. But I think a lot of people think branding, they think a logo. Because when they think branding, they think of, Coca-Cola or Home Depot or these big companies, like a big corporation. Right. And if you think brand, if that kind of is what you think, maybe then, click the like button or say yes Alan. Or whatever. Oh, thanks, Alan. But when we're talking about building our personal brand, and I'm telling you right now, if you think, oh, I gotta get a logo, don't worry about that. You do not have to get a logo. Maybe eventually you get a logo. On things that are ending, getting a logo might be number like 17, but there's 16 things ahead of that which are way, way more important. And specifically, there's 4 questions, quattro questiones that you need to ask yourself. So you kind of rhetorically ask yourself these 4 questions, but then I really want you to put pencil to paper and answer these questions for yourself. Put some thought into it and really think about this, because this is what's going to help shape your personal brand. All right, so these 4 questions are, question number 1, who are you?
Yes.
Right, who are you? Meaning like, what is it?
Go deep beyond just who are you.
Right, but like, what do you stand for? What do you represent? What is it? How do you want to be seen out there in the marketplace? Because a personal brand, really, what a personal brand is, it's not so much what you think of yourself, it's what people out in the marketplace think of you.
Right.
Okay, so the first question is, who are you? The second question is, what do you stand for?
And that's a big one.
It's a huge one.
Because I know for us, and is like integrity. We're very big on integrity, cutting through the crap. We don't like to call people out because that's like not good marketing, but we are very much have branded ourselves, and we branded ourselves beyond that, but we've branded ourselves as real people who you can reach out to, that we truly have an interest in helping you succeed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And when you ask the question, what do you stand for?
Right.
It's, some people might say, oh, I stand for, building a big business, or I stand for, a specific industry or whatever. I stand for my weight loss shakes that my company promotes. No, that's not it. What you stand for is what Michelle alluded to. It's deeper than that. Yeah. It's deeper than that. So I'll give you an example. One thing that Michelle and we did this way back when. We kind of decided that one of the things we stand for is anytime that we promote anything, whether this is like a product, a course, a system, right? We have to use it and like it and love it ourselves.
We're not going to promote for the sake of for money.
Right. We're not going to
that looks bad. That looks so bad on your brand, right, guys? I mean, that looks bad. What if we went out there and promoted something we'd never used, and you guys were the guinea pigs to try it out, and it sucked? Mm-hmm. I mean, you would come back to us, and you would be mad, and we would have to sit here and scramble and say, oh, yeah, no, it's good, but we've lied to you, all right? And that's what we don't want. You don't want to do that, so yeah.
So one of the things that people know about us, because it's something that we've woven into our brands, is anytime we promote something, or if it's our own product, of course, if it's our own product, we're going to stand behind it. But we woven into that is we stand for over-delivering and under-promising. Like, for example, anytime we've created a course or we've done a webinar, we're always, if anything, we're going longer than we were supposed to go, right? Because we're giving more information. Yes. me. Or, Michelle's we're rebooting the Social Media Branding Academy course, redoing it. We're going to relaunch it. It's going to be Social Media Branding Academy 2.0.
Yes.
There's going to be more, like there'd be some people that put out a course and it's like, 8 modules or whatever. Like we already mapped it out.
Modules. But the problem is I get in there, and this probably happens to you guys, is like I start teaching parts of the Facebook ads, and I'm like, well, wait, these guys need to also know lead ads, lead forms, and then custom audiences, and then how are they going to figure that out without audience insights? That's what happens. I don't even know why I just shared that, but yeah, that's awesome.
The point is, we tend to over-deliver, Underpromise, overdeliver. Make sure I got that right. Underpromise, overdeliver. We've got to, stand behind, something if we're going to promote it. So that's just what we stand for, right?
So you guys gotta identify what do you stand for, because that's your brand. That's how you're going to be recognizable, and people are going to always know that they can trust you and whatever it is that you stand for.
Absolutely. So that was question numero dos.
Okay.
The third question is, who do you serve? All right, so you've really got to dial in your target market, and then obviously you got to know who your customer avatar is and really work out your customer avatar and their pains and struggles. But think specifically about who you want to serve. I remember we were at a conference, a marketing conference. This is a couple of years back, and they asked us to speak on stage. And after we spoke, I was talking to one of the attendees, and I asked them, who is it that you want to sell your product to? And they said, oh, anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
They're absolutely everyone, anyone. Like if they have a pulse and an ounce of breath left in them, I want to sell to them.
And that's kind of a normal response when you're kind of first starting out. It's wrong.
Sure.
But I think because people get hyped up and excited, yeah, and then they're like, I just want to sell it to everyone. Everyone can use it because that's what we think. But what does your audience think?
Right. And the reality is, if you don't know who you serve, if you're not going to dial it down, like really niche it down to a specific target audience, the challenge is if you think you want to end up promoting to everyone, or if you want to serve everyone, you'll end up serving no one.
Yeah.
Right. If you want your target audience to be everyone, your target audience will end up being no one. It's impossible to think that your product is meant for everyone. Right. I mean, look at even the big major brands. Look at Budweiser, and look at the commercials and things like that. Look at a Budweiser commercial versus a Rolex commercial, for example.
Right.
They know who they're marketing to. And the commercials and the marketing of Rolex is going to be very different than the commercials and the marketing of Budweiser, because they've got a different target audience. They know we're not, going to get everyone. We know we've got a specific niche. So you've got to identify who is your niche.
And you got to make yourself that brand, that attractive brand to that niche.
Absolutely. And then the last question, and then we're going to start diving into some real good meaty tips here for you. The last question then is, now that you know who you're going to serve, how will you serve them? Right? So what are you going to bring to the table to provide value to your target audience? What are you going to do to serve them? And again, you've got to kind of niche this down. If you were to say, oh, I'm going to help them, in every facet of building a business that exists. I'm going to help them with their email marketing, with their funnels, with their Facebook marketing, with their Instagram marketing, with their content marketing, with their copywriting, with their blah, 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 blah. I mean, that's just very broad. So, think about how you're going to serve them from a more niche specific standpoint. Again, case in point with us, Michelle, well, how does she serve our audience? It's very much with Facebook marketing, Facebook advertising, tips on how to be a better Facebook marketer and how to build your business and your brand online using Facebook. For me, I've evolved over time. When I first started out the first couple of years, and this gets back to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and how he used to be The Rock, and now he's Dwayne Johnson, the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
That's crazy.
When I first got into this, I was very much the prospecting on the phone, how to prospect and recruit and use the phone to build your business. And I became known as that. And then our business kind of shifted. Things for us just shifted in general. My interests shifted. And now I'm much more focused on content marketing, emailing our list all the day and copywriting. And so the way that I try to benefit people most is to, how can you become a better blogger? How can you become a better writer? How can you be a better copywriter? How could you impact your audience and get leads and sales through what you're writing as opposed to being on the phone and recruiting? So I did a shift, which you can do a shift too. Again, don't think that you're stuck with whatever your brand direction is, and you can't ever augment or modify that direction if you want to. You can, absolutely.
Because when you're just starting out, you're kind of like, there's so much out there, and you're kind of wiggling your way like into the space that you need to be in, but you don't know exactly where that is. So, and that comes from learning, that comes from doing, it comes from taking action, it comes from finding what you're getting results with, it comes from, what are you passionate about doing? That's how you can wiggle your way into really honing in on what your craft is. For me in the beginning, it was Facebook because I loved it. I was getting results from it, 10 years ago? No, 7 years ago. 8 years ago. It was when Facebook was just starting with ads. Yeah. So for me, it was fascinating. I loved tinkering with it, trying to get results. And when I would get results, I'd be excited about it and I can share. And it just was like this momentum that kept building and building. But again, I could shift from Facebook one day. If I find that Facebook's not profitable anymore, it could be something that I might try to shift over to Instagram or somewhere else, So don't be afraid.
MySpace.
Yes, MySpace. I don't even think that's around anymore, is it?
I don't know.
But yes, John, focus on one platform, and don't be afraid, if it's just not what you like, but understand the messages that you're giving yourself in your head when you're on Facebook, and if you're saying, like, if you're going to focus on frustrating, is it the wrong type of message that you're sending in your head? Maybe you should be saying something like, I'm going to figure this out. There are people out there that are still successful on Facebook. I need to know what they're doing so I can continue to grow within this niche or whatever, or the marketing strategy that you're choosing. Don't bail on a strategy because you're not getting results. It's very different. Don't bail on it. Only bail on it if you see that nobody's having success with that and they're moving to different platforms, and that could happen. Very, very well could happen.
It could. And a quick question I got for you out there is...
give us some hearts and likes and
but
likes.
Hang on.
I see like...
No, but hang on. I want to... Is the broadcast, like, are we choppy? Like, is the feed good? We have a little preview on the side that shows us what I think you're all seeing. It looks like it's maybe sometimes choppy, and now it looks like it's better. But just give us a little comment below if the broadcast feed is smooth, like if the live stream, whatever, is doing okay.
Cool. And it's okay, guys, if you get sidetracked. I see some comments there. That happens. Oh my gosh, that happens. I spent last year sidetracked over on a different railroad track. Then I got fired up. Beginning of 2018. Okay, a little bit choppy.
How do we improve that?
It's because we're downstairs.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Because we're far away from the internet.
Shut some stuff. Does it help if I shut some things down?
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead, guys. If you're ready, let's dive into, what is the title of this called, Bill? 5
tips to create a Rockstar personal brand.
Okay, so let's talk about number 1. All right. Number 1 is become an authority, which we talked about this a little bit, in your industry. So what that means is you've got to be someone who is the go-to person. So whatever you are marketing, if it's a health and wellness product, if it's a brick and mortar business, if it's a travel company or a travel service, if it's affiliate marketing, you need to start with, what is the problem that your product solves? So like, for example, internet marketing, we promote a high ticket program. Hey, Jan, what's up?
Jan,
glad to have you here.
What?
So our product helps people build businesses online. It gives them a business model. So you have to come from that place, because that, like your product, if it's a health and wellness product, it helps people lose weight or maybe have more energy or have a healthier lifestyle. So then you can back into that. That's the solution. So you've got to become the guru or the rock star in your marketing niche, authority. That's what I'm looking for. That will actually become attractive to people and they want to learn from you. Look, Alan said, hi, Jan. That's so nice. You guys say hi to each other. Hey, what's up?
Everyone in here say hi to one
somebody.
Another. Yeah.
Everyone say hi to someone. So I don't know if you wanted to elaborate on that, but it's important to become some sort of authority within your marketing niche to where people come to you because they know that you're going to provide value. They know that you're going to give them the answers that they're looking for. They know that you're going to solve their problems.
And so what you're going to hear, we're going to talk about this in a couple different ways here on with these tips on this on this Facebook Live. It's the theme consistency. Now, in this case, if you want, the way to become an authority in something is to be consistent in your messaging. Meaning, right, you're going to build a brand, you're going to become known as whatever you become known as. It's because you're consistently delivering value on the same thing. What I mean by that specifically is you're not, say, writing a blog post one day about Snapchat. You're writing a blog post the next week about email marketing follow-up. You're writing a blog post the following week on recruiting. You're writing a blog post the following week on funnels. The next week you're writing a blog post on Facebook marketing. Right? That's kind of, and while all those things would be considered like facets of building your business, that's not going to build your brand as an authority in one particular thing. That's going to kind of spread you thin. Right? So what you want to do here is go deep and not wide. Go deep in one specific niche, one specific category, and become the authority as that. Because there's no way on earth that anyone can be known as they're the authority on Facebook. They're also the authority on Instagram. They're also the authority on copywriting. They're also the authority on building funnels. They're also the authority on doing webinars. They're also the authority on blah, 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 right? You can't just hog up that much space to be authority on everything, right? And look at people out there. Like, they're really, if you look at from the biggest, people out there in our space to just in the world, they're going to be known for a pretty specific thing that they're the authority on.
Yeah.
Right. And so think of that same with you. So from a consistency standpoint, that doesn't necessarily mean, well, we'll talk about that in a bit, but it doesn't mean like, oh, you're consistently like, oh, every day you're doing this every day. No, this is meaning consistency in what you are talking about. You're consistently providing value in the same particular topic.
So the challenge is all of you that are watching this live with us right now, and even the recording, if I look at your name, I want to know what you're known for. If I were to see like, I don't want to say somebody who's actually watching this, Susie on here, and I see it at a glance, I say, oh, look, Susie's on here. I know she's good at Instagram marketing. Oh, I see Jonathan on here. I know he's good at content marketing. Like, that's what we're talking about. When your name is popping up, our example here is, if I look, I want to say, oh, I know what she does. I know that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to give yourself that label. And by the way, 3 of you, kudos to you guys for taking action because you reached out to each other. That's brand building there. I seem so silly. I know it does, but you're reaching out to each other and you're saying hi.
In the comments
I'm not
section.
saying like private messaging. In the comments below, you just picked a person. You said, Chris said, hi, Jan. Chris said, hi, John. Jan said, hi. I forgot who she said hi to. She said hi to everyone. Alan said, I hope you're feeling better, Jan. That's networking right there. That's also brand building. So when we tell you guys to do that, do that. It's good. It's good. And number 2, be entertaining and inspirational.
Okay, so before we move on to number 2, Fitzroy said it's very choppy for him. Sorry, sorry, Fitzroy.
Maybe the recording will be better.
If that made sense, if you like that tip and you can see yourself applying consistently like a similar strategy or consistently talking about the same thing, that makes sense. Type a 1 in the comments section below. And also click the like button or the heart button if you thought that was at all.
And while everybody's doing that, will you open the door? Because we need the internet radio waves to come through our steel door we have. We have the Batman door where nobody can enter it unless they push the secret code. And there's I don't know. Good, 1. Awesome, Alan, 1.
Cool.
No, I just wanted to open it because we're blocking the internet waves, and that'll probably help with the choppiness. Bill's not buying it.
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
It's true. Those of you out there that are internet technical people, tell him it's true.
Okay, let's move on. We got to get this going. What's number
2 is be entertaining and inspirational.
Oh, be entertaining. Right. Oh, that was Michelle being entertaining and inspirational.
Yes.
So you want to talk about that one?
I do because you don't, if you're going to really project, what's that word I'm looking for? You know, if you want to attract people to you and you want them to recognize your brand, you've got to be unique somehow. And two of the easiest ways to do that is to be inspirational. Everybody loves to be motivated. They love to be inspired. Now, you can inspire people through your own actions and through the things that you do and your success stories, but also motivating them is really, really important because you want to be their cheerleader. You don't want to drag them across the finish line, but you want to cheer them on. You want to give people hope. You want to give people, where their message in their mind is, I can do this too. You know, Bill and Michelle, if they can do it, I can do it too, because they're showing me how easy this is, or they're showing me, laying out the blueprint for me step by step by step. And entertaining is always great. I know that some of us are introverts out there and it's hard to be entertaining, but just be yourself, relax. I mean, I see too many people out there that try to do videos or they try to do Facebook Lives and they, well, not a Facebook Live, but videos, and they edit the heck out of that thing. Don't worry about mistakes. I mean, people want to know you're real. Yeah. So have fun. People love that. So that's why we try to be entertaining. This is us. We're just goofy. Yeah, we're goofy like this. We really are. I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is us being us. And if you've been on these,
hung out with us, you know.
If you've hung out with us, you know. If you've over the last month or so,
especially after you've had a few vodka drinks.
If you've been here on the Real Talk with Bill and Michelle, these Friday afternoon Real Talk with Bill and Michelle episodes. Of course, we want to deliver value. Of course, we want to make it worth your while. But it's a Facebook so we're just normal kind of goofy selves that we interact with each other or interact at you. We literally want to bring you into our home as if you were sitting here right here with us
on our couch
and acting the way that exactly how we'd be acting if we were just like hanging out, tonight, sipping, wine or whatever. So think about it like that way. Imagine that you were just, hanging out with these people, whether it's your Facebook Live or your video or, whatever you're doing. And just honestly be yourself. You'll end up you'll attract the right people. That's the thing. Because the people that resonate with you, when they resonate with you from what you're talking about, subject matter wise, all the way to resonate with you, your personality, that will attract the right people to you.
Oh, wow.
Right? Does that make sense?
That's so cool, Alan. My wife just bought a pair of Toms and mentioned your name. Is it because I talk about my Toms all the time? That's interesting.
I'm confused.
Let me know, Alan. All right, we should move on to number 3.
Yes. So does that make sense? So if that makes sense, obviously makes sense. But you can see yourself, just try. And I'm not saying that you are this way, but if you were, or if you're thinking, don't be uptight. Don't be all professional strategy with a stick up your butt. Just be yourself, be funny, be loose, be relaxed, and people will like you for that. And they'll resonate with you more, and it'll go a long way towards helping to build your brand. So if you like that tip number 2, write a number 2 below, right? Literally write 2, the number 2, those in the comment section below.
I should reach out to Tom's and tell them I could expand their brand.
Did you put the Power Players link up in the thing?
Not yet. Don't worry about it. We'll deal with that later.
Because we got to,
we're here to entertain and give value. Awesome. I see a bunch of 2s. All right, let's move on to number 3 while the 2s are coming so we can speed this up.
All right. So numero 3 is maintain consistent social media branding and cross promotion. Talk.
Oh, it's me?
Sure.
I like all the 2s. Okay. So maintaining that consistent social media branding and cross promotion. That just basically means, guys, recognizable brand. Have that professional cover. We're going to start with Facebook. Have the professional cover photo. Have a professional profile photo. Keep that consistent with all your other social media channels, with Instagram, with Twitter, with YouTube, with Pinterest. You want to keep that consistent. Go beyond that, though. Your messaging. Is your messaging consistent across all social media platforms? That's going to also help you grow that brand and create more awareness. Because as you know, we mentioned this in our last live. I think it was our last live. There are not a lot of young people on Facebook. So we have to, if you want to reach younger people, the millennials or the scatennials or
Saskatchewan
fall lineals, the spring lineals, the summer lineals. You got to go beyond Facebook. We got to get over on Instagram. They're all on Instagram, okay? So just recognize that, but keep your messaging consistent. Keep the presence that you're putting out there consistent, because if someone's over on Facebook and then they jump over and find you on Instagram, they can easily, quickly recognize that it's that same brand, and they can also interact with you there. So very important. And
also from a consistency standpoint, it's the messaging that you're delivering, as what Michelle said, but it's also the way you do it. Meaning, don't one day or 1 week, if you're in flip-flops and a Hawaiian shirt and conveying that, and then all of a sudden now you're showing up wearing like a suit and tie, right? That's going to kind of be a mixed message. Or don't be who you're not. If you're the guy or the gal that swears a lot, and you're dropping F-bombs left and right. I mean, if that's who you are, as part of your brand, then fine, then stick with that. Don't all of a sudden be shift gears real quick and change things, because people will, again, you're going to attract who you attract to be based upon this personal brand. And if all of a sudden you really quickly you're doing something completely different, and I'm not talking about talking about Facebook and then going to talking about Pinterest. I'm talking about literally the entire look and feel. If you're one day trying to attract, surfers, and then the next week you're trying to attract, baby boomer retirees, it's not going to work. It's going to be confusing. It's going to be a mixed message. It's going to muddy the waters, and it will create a sort of disjointed, unclear, muddied personal brand. And if your personal brand is kind of muddied and unclear and disjointed, it's not there, right? It's useless.
And that's a good question, Jan. Asking about, look, if I have a professional picture with me in a suit or me in a dress, and then I have that across my, in the cover photo and things like that, do I have to do that in videos and a Facebook Live? My question would be, is that really you? If that's not really you, meaning you're not really the person that dresses up and dresses in suits every single day, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a way to look clean and crisp without having to wear a dress or a suit. If that's not truly you, then personally for me, I would ditch that, because that's not, you look at our stuff, I'm in a pair of jeans and I think a white, button-up short sleeve shirt. We're about to take some more pictures, and I'm surely not going to be in a dress. I'm only in a dress on stage once, twice, 3 times a year, just because we need to look pretty.
But even our professional photos that, for example, that are on our blog or our websites or the banners, even those photos, we're wearing, even though we're dressed up, we're wearing what we wear out. Say we went out to dinner on a Friday night. That's kind of what we wore. So a nice pair of jeans and a nice shirt. That's pretty much what we're both wearing in all those.
Exactly.
Now, obviously, these Facebook Lives, it's a bit different. And obviously, people understand that just because you're wearing something in a photo on your website doesn't mean that's what you wear 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right?
Yeah.
We do change clothes, and we have nicer days and less nice days. But for us, for doing videos or for doing these Facebook Lives, we just show up comfortable. We just show up kind of wearing what we would be wearing anyway.
Because it's our brand, though.
Right, because that's our brand.
You catch us at events, and it's we're not speaking that day. I'm in a T-shirt and a nice shirt.
Jeans.
I'm not a T-shirt, a pair of jeans and a nice shirt or something.
Yeah.
So if that all makes sense, guys, let's drop a 3.
Yes.
3
Trace.
below.
Trace if you're Espanol. Toi if you're Francois.
That's very good.
And 3 if you're English.
All right, so let's move on to number 4. Go ahead.
So number 4, the fourth tip. This is a big one. Don't just market a product. Build your brand.
All right. So this is a big one, and this kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. We don't just promote a product for the sake of making money. So look at what you're promoting right now and ask yourself, why are you promoting it? All right? Are you just promoting it because it's in momentum and all of your business acquaintances on the internet are all jumping on board and they're all promoting it? Mm-hmm. Or is it because you're actually a product of the product, Okay, very, very big difference, because if you are just promoting for the sake of promoting, that's going to come through in your messaging. And as Alan said earlier, he didn't say you used the word authentic, so I'm going to use it a little differently, but you won't come across as authentic. People see through that, and you don't want to damage your brand by not actually being a product of your product and knowing the ins and outs of it. Okay, so again, it goes back to that everything we promote, it's because we use it, we get results, and we know that we can teach people how to do the same. It's about being authentic. So you have to, if you're gonna market your product, you've got to market you using it, you've got to share those success stories, you got to show other people using it, you've got to show them having success stories. You've got to have that integrated throughout your life and your brand. I mean, even if you're just doing Snapchat or if you're doing Instagram stories, people should see that you are a product of that product. Could you imagine us running our vegan business and we're not really vegan? Like that's so inauthentic. Is that a right word? Did I use that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not real. And good gosh, what if somebody actually found that out and was like, wow, they have this huge following and they have this vegan cookbook and this blog and they're not really vegan? Ooh,
right. And they're going to McDonald's every night.
So that's what we mean by that.
Pounds of cheese.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the other thing, well, to add to that is that, if you were to, so here's where it gets a little tricky. You also have to be nimble in the sense that, companies do come and go, unfortunately.
Yes.
That's just the reality of the world we live in. A company might go out of business, a company might get shut down, something crazy might happen, and you, for very good reasons, want to leave that company. You're no longer with it anymore. So if you wrapped up all your marketing around the company and the comp plan and maybe their specific product, like their specific juicy juice or their specific training or whatever, and then you leave that company, you kind of got to start where health and wellness in general. You can live you can show a healthy, active lifestyle. You can brand and market yourself as someone who's always out and about. And
you should be in health and wellness. Look at his guns. He's getting some guns.
Stop.
He's been working out. He should be in health and wellness.
I shouldn't.
Don't pitch us.
But then you say one day, all of a sudden you're in a new company. And if you had wrapped up everything that you had done, meaning your marketing, your brand around the company and a specific product, then it's going to be tough to switch. Whereas if you were in general, we're like, look, I'm a healthy, weight loss type person in general, then you can shift. You could, if the day comes, you have to change companies or change products, you're not really changing your brand because you're still promoting that lifestyle. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, type yes, please. Just so I know that I've articulated that well.
He's been working out really hard. He looks good.
Stop.
Yeah. I was supposed to stop. But he does. You've been working out. Like, you've been so consistent. We have been since the first of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alan sees that. Wow. All right. You ready to move on?
Yes. Yes, let's move on.
All right, number 5, become active on social media.
Is that really where we do that one?
Okay, you do another one.
Well, let's just do it. It seems obvious. Well, but talk about it.
But it's important because, oftentimes we say, oh, take that praise, Bill. Get that glory, bud. Build those guns. I love it. Getting ready for summer.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah, we're supposed to go to Turks and Caicos in June, so he's getting ready.
Yeah.
All right, so happy wife. All right, so be active on social media. The reason why I shared that, I know it's so obvious, but I don't think people are really pushing themselves to the limit of really being active on social media. And I watched, I feel like I know we brand together, but let's just say for me, myself last year, I watched it kind of dip down some because I wasn't as active as I should have been. I wasn't engaging with all of you guys like we're doing right now. Like, we weren't doing these lives every Friday last year, but we are. We're being very active. We're engaging, and that's so, so important. We're making new friends here, maybe new business partners, who knows? But that's what you've got to be active. So a lot of you think you are active, and then I'm not pointing anybody out, but I want you to look, are you really as active as you could be? Are you really interacting with people's status updates? Are you really taking an authentic interest in what people are saying? It only takes 5 or 10 minutes a day to actually just scroll through your newsfeed and give praise. It only takes 5 or 10 minutes a day to scroll through your newsfeed and give some inspiration, to give some motivation. Not just you typing a status update. I'm talking taking a genuine interest in what people are doing. And they're posting about it in their newsfeed. It's so easy because there's so much noise on the internet. It's so easy for us just to be like, oh, another status update from Johnson. Okay. Actually, it's all about just reaching out to as many people as you can. And yes, love on people, Jan. I love that. The more you love on people, people love that. They receive it, and it makes them feel good also. And they want to be around people that love on them and that inspire them and motivate them. So are you active on social media? So that's just very simple right there, 5 to 10 minutes a day. Doing Facebook Lives, very, very important. Right? Bill is really tired. Doing Facebook Lives. Again, we realized we weren't as active as we should have been.
Right.
That's why we're doing this. We made the commitment this year to do these every single Friday.
Right. And here we are. And so, part of for us
groups,
to
Facebook groups.
So part of us, and again, we building your personal brand. It's a constant thing. Like I said earlier, it's not like you just work on your personal brand for a year and say, oh, it's done, and I don't have to do anything anymore ever again. No, kind of everything that you do. Anytime you write a blog post, anytime you create a piece of content, in a way that's shaping your personal brand. It's either enhancing it, adding to it, ruining it, breaking it down, whatever. It's somehow adding to your existing personal brand. For us, we realized that one of the things that we wanted to do to step up our game from a personal branding standpoint was to do these Friday Real Talk with Bill and Michelle episodes every single Friday.
Yeah.
And we're on like our 5th one now, 4th or 5th one. We just started it in the new year. So we're just a month and a half in. And what we want, obviously, these earlier ones, these ones that, we're in January and now, there's not as many people because it's kind of a thing. You got to build momentum. Yeah.
By the end of the year, we could have thousands of people watching us.
Exactly. And
you got to stick with it.
It would be the consistency and the constant. So there's consistency, which is, remaining consistent with the theme, right? And that goes with the look and the feel. Do you have like imaging and photos and like, does your Twitter header look like your Facebook header or look like your blog header? It's like a similar theme, right? And that's consistency. Your consistency also is theme, or are you talking about, say, for example, Facebook marketing a lot, and so you get known as a Facebook marketer.
Reach for the stars, Jan.
Then there's something called constancy, right? So it's different. Constancy is constantly being in front of your audience, right? And I'll give you a perfect example of constancy in a context I think we can all understand. I've mentioned Budweiser like a few times today, but think about the Budweiser Super Bowl commercials. All right. They usually involve.
We expect it.
We expect it, but they involve Clydesdales and puppies and firemen and stuff like that. There hardly ever is it about beer.
Yeah.
Okay. But they want to be in front of their audience, right? Yeah. So they're not necessarily selling beer, right? Because we all know Budweiser means beer, but they're like, we want to be in front of our audience. So that's an example of constancy. Constancy just means you're constantly being on the minds of your audience, right? So for us, doing these weekly Friday Real Talk with Bill and Michelle episodes will help build our brand from a constancy standpoint, because people know every Friday, rain or shine, no matter what to talk about, we'll see Bill and Michelle Friday afternoon on that Facebook Live. And sometimes you'll show up because you can, sometimes you won't because you've got to have a root canal or whatever, and that's fine. But you'll know, though, that from a constancy, we're constantly there in front of our audience, providing value and helping you out to build your business and your brand. So that's just an example of it. So think of something that you can do from a constancy standpoint. And even maybe even type in the comments if you have an idea. Type in a comment, comment below what you either are doing right now or something that you could see yourself doing from a constancy standpoint to remain constantly on the minds of your target audience.
And
comment below.
Yes, comment. I would love to see that. But are you holding back is my question to you. Are you holding back? Are you not putting that value out into the marketplace? Are you not pushing yourself to the limits you know you can go to get that value out there into the marketplace, to share your brand? Think about that, guys. You all have it in you, but ask yourself the really tough question. Are you doing enough? That's the thing. If your answer is no, I'm not doing enough, I know that I should be doing lives. I know that I should not be lazy and actually write a blog post. I should share it. I know that I should be doing some videos. I know that I need to be taking all this value that I've received and I've learned this week. Am I going out into the marketplace and actually sharing it back out there? So really ask yourself that. I also wanted to Karen had a great question. And this is what I love. Thank you, Karen, for asking, but she sells makeup. And so her question was, how would I brand myself, not as a makeup consultant? I love that. There is a market out there of people who love watching makeup tutorials. Why not do makeup tutorials? I was fascinated by, you're going to slap me.
She said, how would I brand myself not as a makeup consultant?
But what I'm saying is, well, I'm assuming she wants to sell her makeup.
Right, but she's not branded as a makeup.
She needs to be
branded as a beauty consultant.
Yeah. Okay, right, a beauty consultant. So people come to you for your knowledge of how to, do makeup. And so I would use your products. And you're gonna slap me for saying this, but I love watching. You're right. I love Kim Kardashian.
Oh, I'll slap you for that.
I love watching her makeup tutorials. But think about maybe it's Kylie. It's one of those.
Who cares? They're all Kardashians.
They sell so much makeup, so much because they do simple tutorials showing how to highlight your cheeks, how to do this through here, how to put on eyeshadow, so that's the kind of things I would do as an example for a beauty consultant is be the go-to person, talk about that, tricks and tips. Go on YouTube and search for makeup tutorials and watch what those ladies do. That's if I were selling makeup.
Yeah, and who asked that?
Innovate
Karen.
People too, Karen. So let people know how beautiful they are. I know, I'm sorry.
And Karen,
early thing.
Well, no, but it's a branding thing. And so, you say, my product is makeup, but I don't want to brand myself as a makeup consultant. Well, so first of all, I would maybe ask yourself, why? Why would you not want to brand yourself as a makeup consultant? Because if you're passionate about the products, you're passionate about makeup and passionate about helping other women, become the best version of themselves through using your makeup and become more beautiful, then
that's a good question. So she's saying if she ended up becoming no longer a makeup consultant, how would she keep her brand going? I guess that depends on what you transition.
So you could become sort of you're right. It depends what you transition into. All of a sudden, if you transition into auto parts, that's kind of like a leap, big leap there. But you've got to. So maybe it's like I said earlier, a beauty consultant in general. You're the go-to on makeup tips and hair tips and products. Fingernail tips and things like that. If that's the way you want to go. So you've got to, you do have to choose though kind of a market and a niche. And if makeup isn't your niche, or you only see it as very, very short term and you might not be in it soon, then maybe, you got to find something.
Actually, that's a good idea. I'm in my late 50s and I can't find tips for my age. Oh my God, you could attract women. And what do people in their 50s struggle with?
Right.
You need to be that solution. So again, if you ended up not being a beauty consultant any longer, you could easily still take that brand and still be motivational and inspirational and just share wisdom and make people feel beautiful on the inside and out. It doesn't have to be through makeup, just as long as people are coming to you because you make them feel beautiful. You make them feel good, and that's why they keep coming back to you. And
here's what it gets back to, Karen. I don't know if you were on here in the beginning, but it gets back to a couple of the four questions I said you got to ask yourself, which is who do you serve and how are you going to serve them?
Yeah.
So don't focus it so much on makeup, right? Makeup's just a product.
Right.
Focus it on who do you serve. Maybe it's women who are in their 50s.
Right.
And then focus on how you're going to serve them. and it's, you know, making them as beautiful as they can, making the decade of the 50s their best decade of their life.
What's going to make them feel beautiful?
You know, how do I make women in their 50s, you know, feel as beautiful from the inside and the outside as well, or something along those lines? Then it doesn't matter if it's makeup one day or hair products the next, or whatever, or if you happen to shift product, because you're who are you serving and how you're serving them is what really matters most, not the product.
Yeah, good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's great. Like, if I were in my 50s, yeah, I think that, you know, I would be like, oh, you know, I'm in my 50s, it's scary, I'm halfway there to 100, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to look at a 20-year-old to make me feel beautiful. I want to look to somebody who, I'm inspired by people my age right now that go out there and rock it in a two-piece, still at my age, that are out there still on the, you know, they know how to make themselves feel beautiful on the inside and out. Maybe you're not beautiful, but you're exuding that confidence. You're happy with your body, your imaging. That's the kind of message that I think would be really good for you. There's a lot. So good. All right.
Awesome. So we're going to wrap this up now. Yes. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you did. And if you got any value from today's episode of Real Talk with Bill and Michelle, then I want you to, number one, just type something like, go you guys, or
and we didn't pitch anything, guys.
Rah,
you should
rah.
Share this. And we'll give a shout out.
And I was going to pitch something, but now I won't. So the next thing you should do is, if you know anyone that might get value from this, tag them. You can tag them in the comment section below. So whether you're watching this live right now, whether you're watching the recording, comment below, tag a friend, tag a neighbor, tag a business partner, tag someone that you're working with or want to work with, and share this with them. And because we didn't even talk about anything other than just branding and personal branding and how, you know, good value and awesomeness and stuff like that, feel free to share this, if you would be so kind, on your Facebook fan pages or what have you. And
I love
show
all
us
the
some love.
new people here. If you're new here, let me know you're new. I mean, because I feel like we've got some new family members here. This is amazing.
If this is your first time watching an episode, just type yes, I'm new, or first time, or something.
Yes, like I mean, I see a lot of new faces here. Thank you. It's so much fun. I love to see the regular faces too, but I see a lot of new people here. It's like family, and that's what we want to continue doing with you guys every single Friday.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's it.
That's it.
We love you guys.
All right.
We'll see you next Friday
on Real Talk with Bill and Michelle.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great weekend.